Welcome back to All Hart. So check it out. You might have heard about a very cool music magazine dedicated to the diverse music scene here in Philly. It's called Jump, the Philly Music Project, and here with me now is Editor-in-Chief George Miller. George, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
This is a way cool magazine.
Thank you.
I'm really loving it. And you're all about Philly, which is so amazing because I'm an artist. I wish you were around when I started because I would have loved to have, taken part in stuff like this. But you're the founder, so how did this all start?
So I'm also a Temple University professor, and I took a bunch of students to London back in 2010, and I wanted to harness the students' desire to go out and have a good time all over the place and see the city with the actual production of journalism. And so I sent the students out to go meet with record producers and artists and DJs and club owners and promoters, and we created a magazine about London back then. And so I came back from London and I was showing everybody the magazine, and all my music friends were like, well, this is fantastic, we should have something like this in Philly. And so it's actually surprisingly easy to create, and so we did it, and we've been running for about 4 years now.
Now, are your students still involved with the making of the magazine?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just by nature of me being there, they all
Right.
see me and they want to go to shows for free.
Always good to go for free.
Yeah, and they want to meet the artists and everything. And so for me, it's great training for the students. We get labor, and it's a really positive thing all around. The artists get recognition, the students get experience, and then we get content for our outlets.
And it's great for people who are looking to find something new, something they may not have heard of. So let's talk about some artists. This is the Menzingers.
The Menzingers,
I just try to say that properly. The Menzingers. Tell me about the Menzingers.
So the Menzingers are like a pop punk kind of band. I mean, some people call them punk, but they're really more, they're a little more dramatic than that. So these are a bunch of guys who started up in northeastern Pennsylvania, and then I think maybe 5 or 6 years ago, they came down to Philadelphia. And they're kind of at the crux of this really burgeoning scene that we have here. We've got a lot of pop punk bands. And so by pop punk, they are sort of aggressive in their music, but they're also speaking about their feelings, and most of the things are written about, relationships, good and bad relationships, their parents, their jobs, and things like that. And so it's a lot of fun. It's their concerts draw tons of kids out there. They get really into it. And these guys have a big show coming up at Union Transfer on May 31st.
And Union Transfer is a great place to go if people haven't heard of it.
Yeah, Union Transfer, it's a fantastic place. It's only been around for maybe 2 years or so.
Okay.
But it's been a great hub of excitement for music.
So another newer person to me, although she's got an amazing following and well known to her fans already, Ali Wadsworth.
Yeah, Allie's an interesting character. She has probably got one of the biggest voices you could ever possibly imagine. And for the most part, Allie is, she's been in Philadelphia, she's been a bartender at all these different clubs around town. She knows everybody in the music scene. She sings in this Americana style. And she has really brought together all these other different people who do similar styles of music, like a band called Toy Soldiers, the Levy Drivers, the Lawsuits. And so they've actually got this whole little crew of people, and so whenever one of them performs, they all show up, they perform together, and it's this big, gigantic celebration of sound. And so, for instance, Allie is she hosts the open mic night at Fergie's Pub in Center City every Monday night. And so it's a giant party on a Monday night every week.
And I think that's, the nature of the music business now, to have that kind of thing where musicians are collaborating in that way is really important, because it's not so much that one person goes out and plays a show, it is that collaborative thing. So, and I loved how you were talking about the motivation for the magazine about showing love to the artists.
Yeah, I mean, to me, like, everybody should know who Ali Wadsworth is. She's an absolutely amazing talent. She's a beautiful person. She's great fun, and she's really just full of spirit. And so, I mean, she brings all these people out on Monday nights, and then they all perform together on different nights of the week. Allie's actually been really good about performing with other people from other styles of music. Her first album just came out a few months ago now. And when she did her first album, she had all of her friends help her write the songs for them. And so, I mean, it's a big, gigantic collaborative effort. She's from New Hampshire, I believe, and she's lived all across the country. But I mean, she's probably as Philadelphia as a musician as I know.
Well, let's call her our own now and try to keep her here, I think giving the artists the recognition, solidifies the music scene here, really, keeps it all together and moving. And what's a preview of some things that might be coming up for you guys?
Well, so Allie's out at Fergie's every week, and then she's also performing on her own at various dates. The Menzingers have their big show on May 31st, which is actually the same day as the Roots Picnic, which is always a gigantic party. And then we at Jump Magazine, we're working with Red Bull. Red Bull has a program called the Sound Select program. And so what they do is they work with us. We're curating the series for them here in Philadelphia. And they bring in large name acts in order to draw crowds. And then for support bands, we bring in local acts. And so we just did one about 2 weeks ago. The headliner was a band called Plastic Little, which was a very big act in the early 2000s in Philadelphia, a hip hop band. And then we had 2 other local bands, Hart and Needle Points, and they performed, you know. So we had probably around 550, 600 people at this club.
Lots of good stuff to see. Well, it's Jump, the Philly Music Project. George Miller, thanks so much for coming and
Thank you for having
telling
me.
us all about what's going on in Philly. Don't go anywhere ahead. Sweeps are in full effect. Lots of new shows and season finales. TV Guide magazine senior writer Damian Holbrook is here with the Sweep Scoop you don't want to miss.
For the last 4 years, he didn't do that by being careless.